Hey guys, installing a set of Airlift 1000 heavy duty airbags on my 2014 Ram today, and the directions are not very helpful, so I thought I'd give you a few tips. First of all, they tell you to remove this rubber isolator on the passenger side spring, which was probably one of the hardest things I did, but on the lower edge, if you get a couple screwdrivers under it, it'll peel back, and then I clamped a set of vice grips to it and pulled it right off. And this is what it looks like off the vehicle. It is on the upper edge of the spring, so I took that tire off and made it a little bit easier to get to. It's a little bit of a booger to get that off. Now to install the airbag, they tell you to flatten it and make it a hot dog shape and insert it in through the bottom. There's no way in hell that was going in for me. So I capped the airbag and ran it under hot water and made my hot dog shape. But then, this is the ticket, I think. I installed zip ties around either end so it'll draw in tightly and give me more space. And then it really just slipped right in. And I was able to go into the safe spots here where the gap is to snip the zip tie with a side cutter. I'm alone, but I'll see if I can show you a video putting this in. Hold on. So this is the driver's side airbag I got in after I realized I need a little help from the zip ties. And here's the passenger side spring. Hopefully I'll be able to slip this in. I still have that wheel off. So here I've got the top portion in very easily. They tell you to use the lowest gap, which is not necessary. This one looked a little wider to me and easier to get to, so I'm shoving this thing up and kind of, sorry about the bad video, doing this myself. Scooch this up away from the spring and then push the bottom. And just work it up. Now it's almost all the way in. Before I did the zip tie, this lower part was the hard part to get in. So it should go in easily. I'll see if I can do a one-handed video. Sorry about the wiggling. Just give it a good push. There she goes. Bingo. Oh, that is so much easier. So now I'm using some diagonal cutters going into the gap, so I'm careful not to cut the bag and just pop that off. Same thing on top. I don't think I'll video that. I became a little concerned whether this thing would open up after I removed the air valve up top, but I pushed from the opposite side here to pop the dent out, and then it took off. So I've got the cap off, and I'm not sure that it'll work on this one, but I'll show you. I got back here and pushed to open up the crease a little bit. It probably will inflate on its own if you're patient. Okay, to be perfectly honest, this bag would not open up after much coaxing. It does not have a Schrader valve at the top, but it looks like one. And I didn't think my air nozzle would work. But when I reached up and put it in there, bingo, she popped right out. So the other side, I didn't have to do that too. So at least you know you can do it if you need to. A lot of guys on the web talk about not doing one airline to both bags. They claim that the load is heavy on one side, it'll deflate that bag and won't give you proper support. So I went ahead and drilled 2 holes back by my license plate, 5/16 holes. This one went through plastic only, which I think is fine. The driver's side went through metal. and I'll just route my lines and show you the final install. So more honest, full disclosure, passenger side straighter valve is in, worked fine. Driver's side, hole number 1 went through the metal, and I was not able to get enough of the straighter valve through. So I moved over just a little bit, and that was all plastic. So I probably should have planned ahead better, but that hole is a perfect place for one of these little plastic inserts. Bingo. We can make that look like that was intended for something. So before you route the lines to your bags, connect it to the little fitting, because it's much easier to screw this onto the airbag than to try to do all this inside the coil spring. Don't forget to put your little hockey puck on top of the bag. Protects the airbag before you install the airline. So the installation is done. I ended up taking the other wheel off. It's a little easier to route the cables and get on top of the spring, the air spring, with your hands. And just avoid the exhaust pipes and stuff. It's mostly on the passenger side where it gets hot, but it's pretty easy to keep them out of the way and provide a lot of slack up here for suspension travel. Yeah, so I hope the couple of tips I gave you guys help you a little bit. They helped me, and you saw a few mistakes I made, so you can benefit from those. So thanks for watching. Good luck with your projects. Bye-bye.